what was going on, I went right through it.
You can.
Didn't feel the injury.
No, you can.
Because it stops me.
You can.
Sometimes throughout my life, but now
The next step is that those injuries, just like your ankle tendon was awakened, there'll come a time, because it was awakened about what it was doing, it no longer does it. It's like shining a light or pouring water on the wicked witch. It just disappears. It takes a little time, but that's in your awareness now. And I'm sorry to say, or I'm happy to say, one way or the other, you won't ever be able to forget it. No, you won't. You won't. That once you are truly aware in a clear moment, there's no escape from it. Our whole lives, so much of our lives, particularly in modern culture, is spent habituating and escaping the truth of what we do.
Stressing our bodies.
Right. But it's any way except the real way is suggested to you. Take a pill so you don't feel the pain. Eat a chip that has a lot of salt and oil on it. Go shopping. Whatever it is, it just simply perpetuates and exaggerates it. But notice how when you are in your truth, that was made aware to you. While you're in your truth, that was also made aware to you. And now, once the light has been shines on it, it will begin, and I can almost promise you, don't like to make these, it will be certain, truly so. But like as not, those old injuries can begin to heal without any surgery, without any special approaches to it or therapies. This is the key therapy. The truth is your therapy. And to be honest is the most daring and courageous thing any human being can do, so don't think it's easy. It's not easy. Because we've been taught to our whole lives are designed to escape the truth. That's where we make such screwy decisions about a lot of things.
I wanted to chime in too because the breathing really helped me to focus. It was so great. And my knee is very tight today. I have arthritis here, and I didn't think I could balance, but I was able to balance on both.
Yes, yes. Yes, well, we all have those things, like a very good chiropractor said once. I hiked for 4 miles and kind of did my left knee in a bit. But the point is, when I'm doing this work, that I can do things that I can't do otherwise, and I'm not harming it. And that finding our center, ha, ha, ha. Make noise, whatever you need to do to keep your center. Take your center with you. The most incredible photographs of acrobats and athletes and dancers when they're leaping in midair, if you will see it, it will look as if they're standing still in midair. They're doing a grand jeté. And that's what they look like. They don't look like, some dancers look like that. But one who takes their center and lifts down is always at ease, no matter what. What is the value of that? Oh my God. You'll save yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars in hospital bills for one thing.
How do you teeter? Because...
What do you mean, teeter?
Meaning, when I teach, it tends to be when I have the issues with my hip. That's when it goes... Okay. But if I'm doing something on my own, in my own time, I'm able to, paint. It won't do it. So where can I'm trying to find an equal balance of having that consciousness at the same time as teaching. Because it
I teach a senior class, so I know what you mean in that I've been more aware as my body's changed and we're older. If I had to teach a kid class, that would be very different, because that technique from then is what caused a lot of my injuries. And so the technique is very different, but it will be that'll be hard, because I'm being more aware teaching seniors of things that go wrong as we get older. So
may I say something real quick before I forget, because as we forget.
I don't know what I'd do if I had to teach kids.
As we live longer, get rid of the as we get older. Just throw it out the window. As we say it over and over, as we live longer, is that not a gift? Life is a gift. We're given a chance to live it longer, but as we get older, every time somebody says as we get older, I go like this.
It changes though. There is a shift.
As we get older, my God.
It just changes, and I try not to resent the change.
I just have to bring that up because everybody says
No, we were just talking about that.
as we live longer.
As we live longer.
Life is a gift. Life is a gift. If you really believe it, you can say those things a million times in the mirror, those affirmations, and they probably do help. But the thing that when these things changes, it's when we really believe them deep inside our groin, deep in our gut, in the nonverbal area of ourselves. If we really believe it, and when that belief becomes very strongly there, that won't happen when you're teaching anymore. And I don't, because you said it out loud, because you've mentioned it, it's now, the light is shining on it. And when this begins to happen, it's opportunity for you to say, this is not necessary. If it doesn't hurt at one time, why should it hurt at another? And that's the time to say, I love myself too much. And kids, you can just go to sleep for right now. I'm going to do this.
The funny thing is they're like, Mrs. Weil, please, will you do this? You don't have to do it with us. We know it. Just let us do it. And there's that.
What does that do?
It's a wonderful feeling that they love me enough to say, no, we don't need you to do it. But there's that also that urge of, but I want to do it with you. I want to be with you.
That's what I would say too. I don't want to lose this. And there are a lot of things that I no longer am able to do quite the way I could. But it is no longer a regret, because I realize that there is an infinity to movement. That start with the simplest movement. I suggest anybody, I don't care if you're a professional athlete or who you are, the really smart ones go back to the absolute simplicities. And you go back to your simplicities. And you say, and you might surprise yourself. You might say to your students, I just would like to do it with you. Maybe you can help me. Maybe it's all right. If I don't, maybe it's all right if I do. But do so in a state of absolute forgiveness. What's the matter with me? I can't do this anymore. I can't leap over buildings with a single bound.
That's all I was saying, is that I got past being angry about what my limits were.
But Jerry, you've already received as a teacher. You've seen your reflection from your students. So
Yeah, that's a nice thought, right? Yeah. But the point is, you probably could. And modify it. You can't put your leg up here.
When it's doing this work,
Yes.
it's rewarding from whatever we're doing that created this, right?
It is a reward.
In meditation, they have a thing, like, okay, when you're meditating, you go into the alpha state, and then there's the rest of your life. But TM people feel that the more you do,
Can you hear?
and the longer you do it, that it starts to transcend all those levels. So how often do you do this? and how often you teach your students, and so there's an imbalance there. So we just have to get together.
Yeah, and it is an imbalance, because it's more giving out this way than giving in here. And
Yeah.
there is an imbalance in that, and I know that. It's just, our world, to get on that choo-choo train, and chug along, and not say, oh, no, okay, stop. Let's stop this train.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And
And
you are in charge. You're in
and
charge.
it is a change. It's a shift. I can't. You don't want to ever stop moving. I never want to stop moving because it's been my lifeline. It's been my conscience. It's kept me whole. So
Through
to
a lot
shift
that
it
does.
to where I can still move but be okay with that movement is an enlightening and a cleansing to say, okay.
That's what I wanted to say about working with seniors. I can show a technique, an outline for a technique, and I say everybody's going to have a different width of that movement, and everybody's going to have to be checking that threshold between stretching and a little bit of pain because I've gone beyond the point I've been versus I'm pushing to a point where I'm causing damage, and it's just a different awareness. And that I would bring that to kids because you can cause damage.
Yeah. And when you have this attitude, like you have to push beyond what is normal for you, you are saying, I am an object in competition with other objects, with opinions, with attitudes, with whether or not I get A or B or C, or judgmentalness. You're in that judgmental zone. Even if you were in a room alone, you're in that judgmental zone.
Is you're expected to grade them. What's the grade? What's my grade?
Exactly.
And you can't really grade.
No.
I grade effort. Are you on your own as an individual growing rather than going, I'm not trying to compare you to that person who has different skill levels. And it is that fine line of not having, because they're, I gotta get that A. I have to have a 4.0.
Well, our whole lives
they're
are
already
geared to
trained
that.
that way.
Yeah.
So
Our whole lives are geared to that. How can we possibly overcome it? But we need to. And it's, who is a master? You have these two things going on all the time. A weighing and a measurement. I got to make a living. I've got to, do this. I got that. Or seemingly, I have to do certain things, And how can we balance that? But the essence of who you really are and be true to that. And that is, I remember once we did I wonder if any of you remember, we did a concert called Apes and Angels, based on the book about apes and angels, and that's what we are. We are these incredible beings, probably from the gods of the nether worlds, and then we are these animals. And here we are in these animal bodies, really knowing deep inside that we're spirit. And what a conflict! What a what a conflict. We're here to resolve it. And who's going to be master? The animal or the god or goddess or spirit? Who's going to be master of the situation at all times? No matter what. And that is the key. Because on every situation, then, that spirit being is in charge. And you will be able to function in this so-called, it's not a real world. It is this is a make-believe world. The world we've created is not the real one at all. We made it all up. Everything, we made it all up. Including how we're supposed to look and how we're supposed to dress and everything. Now I think we can start our workshop. No, really, seriously. These are the preps that are needed sometimes. Just the physical thing, how it connects to the spirit being, how the mind can change anything we can do, and it's there